The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. That quote from The Usual Suspects perfectly captures the essence of Sigma males. They're the human equivalent of a magician's sleight of hand, always there, but never truly seen. Here's a fact to chew on. The quietest people in the room often hold the most power, yet they never feel the need to announce it. Sigma males live by this rule, operating under the radar while everyone else battles for the spotlight. They're not flashy, not loud, and certainly not desperate for anyone's approval. But make no mistake, their unassuming demeanor is a masterclass in camouflage, a calculated strategy to move unnoticed while observing every move you make. You won't see them coming, and by the time you do, they've already outmaneuvered you. Think of them as the Wi-Fi signal in your life. Silent, invisible, but running the entire show. Number 1. They keep their accomplishments in the shadows. A Sigma male could be wildly successful, yet you'd never know it unless you were one of the very few people he trusted enough to share that information. He doesn't flaunt his achievements, not because he's shy or modest, but because he sees no value in external validation. His success isn't for public consumption, it's for himself. While others post their promotions, expensive vacations, or new gadgets online, he keeps his wins quiet, almost as if they're a well-guarded secret. This isn't about humility, it's a strategic choice. By staying under the radar, he avoids unnecessary attention, envy, or the expectations that come with being in the spotlight. He knows that in a world obsessed with showing off, real power lies in keeping people guessing. You might think he's just another ordinary guy, going about his day with nothing remarkable to his name, but that's exactly what he wants you to believe. He understands the social dynamics of being underestimated. It gives him the upper hand. People rarely scrutinize someone they assume is average, and that invisibility allows him to work, build, and thrive in peace. Ironically, this lack of display makes him even more fascinating to those who pay attention. People start to wonder, why doesn't he share more? What's he hiding? But by the time they realize there's more to him than meets the eye, he's already several steps ahead. His accomplishments don't need applause, because to him, success isn't about proving anything to others. It's about freedom. Freedom to live on his own terms, without the noise, the drama, or the false admiration of people who only value what they can see. In a world full of showboats, he's the silent captain steering his ship far beyond anyone's reach. Number 2, they let others take the spotlight deliberately. Sigma males have mastered the art of letting others take center stage, and they do it with purpose. While most people are in a frantic race to be noticed, to have the loudest voice, or to prove their worth in every room, the Sigma male steps back and lets them have at it. Why? Because he knows the spotlight is a double-edged sword. It strokes egos, sure, but it also puts a target on your back. By stepping into the shadows and letting others bask in the glory, the Sigma avoids scrutiny, competition, and the inevitable drama that comes with attention. It's not that he lacks the confidence to shine, it's that he chooses not to. He's smart enough to understand that attention is often fleeting, shallow, and exhausting to maintain. Let others fight for the applause and the fleeting rush of validation. It only fuels their egos and distracts them from what really matters. Meanwhile, the Sigma uses this opportunity to quietly observe the room, learn everyone's moves, and strategize his next step without anyone even noticing. What's even more fascinating is how effortlessly this approach feeds into the dynamics of human psychology. People love feeling like the star of the show, and the Sigma, by stepping back, makes them feel just that. This creates an illusion of harmlessness. He's not competing, he's not trying to one-up anyone, so why bother focusing on him? By the time anyone realizes he's the one holding the real power, the Sigma has already walked away with what he wanted, leaving everyone else distracted by the spotlight they fought so hard to stand in. It's not just deliberate, it's genius. Number 3, they use curiosity to their advantage. Sigma males understand something most people don't. Curiosity is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. When you can't quite figure someone out, they live rent-free in your mind. That's the Sigma's playground. By refusing to conform to social norms or overshare, they create an aura of mystery that people can't help but be drawn to. They don't act mysterious for the sake of it. They simply operate on a need-to-know basis, and most people don't need to know. This deliberate vagueness is both a shield and a weapon. On one hand, it keeps people at a distance. The less you reveal, the harder it is for others to judge, label, or manipulate you. On the other hand, it sparks curiosity, making people lean in, ask questions, and try to decode what's going on behind the scenes. But no matter how much someone pries, the Sigma only gives away fragments, enough to keep them intrigued, but never enough to fully satisfy their curiosity. What's fascinating is how effortlessly this creates power. People are naturally drawn to what they don't understand. They start projecting their own ideas onto the Sigma, imagining complexities and depth that may or may not exist. This gives the Sigma an almost mythical quality, making him seem larger than life, while he remains in complete control of what others perceive. By using curiosity as a tool, the Sigma doesn't have to chase attention, it comes to him naturally. But the best part, he doesn't owe anyone an explanation. While others spill their lives to be seen and heard, he sits back, quietly enigmatic, knowing that the less people know, the more they want to know. And in a world obsessed with oversharing, that's his ultimate power move. Number 4, they wear neutral masks. Sigma males have perfected the art of being unremarkably remarkable. They operate in the sweet spot of neutrality, where they're noticeable enough to not seem out of place, but subtle enough to never invite too much attention. They don't overdo anything, whether it's their demeanor, tone, or presence. They aren't the loudest voice in the room, but they aren't silent observers either. They exist in that middle ground, where their actions and words are intentional, measured, and never excessive. This isn't accidental, it's deliberate. Extremes make you memorable for better or worse. Being too loud gets you noticed, being too quiet makes people suspicious, and being overly friendly can be mistaken for desperation. On the flip side, being too aloof comes off as arrogant. Sigma males sidestep all these traps by being adaptable and balanced. They're approachable without being overly familiar, confident without being cocky, and reserved without being distant. This neutral mask serves as a protective camouflage. In a world where people are quick to judge and label others based on first impressions, the Sigma becomes a blank slate, unassuming and hard to pin down. Most people walk away from an interaction with a Sigma male thinking, he seems nice, but they can't quite put their finger on why. That ambiguity keeps the Sigma free from unnecessary scrutiny while still blending in effortlessly. This balance also makes them impossible to predict. By avoiding extremes, they never give away too much about their true nature or intentions. It's a subtle but effective way to maintain control of how they're perceived. To most, they appear calm, grounded, and likable. But underneath that neutral mask lies someone far more complex, always 3 steps ahead of everyone else. Number 5, they choose the grayman aesthetic. Sigma males are masters of visual subtlety. Their style isn't loud, flashy, or trend-chasing. It's a calculated mix of presentable and forgettable. They choose the grayman aesthetic not because they lack individuality, but because they understand the power of blending in. Dressing in neutral tones, avoiding bold patterns, and opting for clean, simple lines allow them to remain invisible to the untrained eye. They're the guy who looks sharp enough to be respected, but not so distinct that you'd ever stop to dissect their outfit. This visual camouflage serves a purpose. Flashy appearances draw attention, which is the last thing a Sigma male wants. At the same time, looking sloppy or disheveled makes you stand out for the wrong reasons. Sigma males navigate the middle ground with precision. They're the person in a well-fitted shirt and clean shoes, but nothing about their attire screams for attention. It's a strategy that keeps them under the radar while signaling that they're put together enough to not be ignored entirely. But don't mistake this for lack of care. They know exactly what they're doing. The grayman aesthetic isn't just about clothing, it's about presence. By making themselves visually neutral, they free themselves from the judgments and assumptions people often make based on appearance. They remain an enigma, not easily categorized or labeled. What's brilliant about this approach is how forgettable it makes them seem in passing, yet how intriguing they become once you actually notice them. It's like a magician's sleight of hand. While everyone is distracted by the loudest and boldest in the room, the Sigma male operates quietly in the background, unnoticed, but fully aware of everything around him. This deliberate neutrality isn't just about fashion, it's a tactical advantage. Number 6, They understand the psychology of low-key power. Sigma males have an uncanny understanding of how power dynamics work, and they know that true strength doesn't need a megaphone. The loudest person in the room often exposes themselves, not just their ego, but their insecurities, weaknesses, and desperate need for validation. Sigma males see this behavior for what it is, a free show where people willingly give away their cards, all while the Sigma quietly studies every move. By deliberately keeping their own presence subdued, they shift the focus onto others, who inevitably feel the need to fill the silence or dominate the space. This gives the Sigma a distinct advantage. They can observe, analyze, and anticipate everyone's intentions without revealing their own. The more someone talks, the more they reveal. The Sigma male knows this psychological truth and lets others dig their own holes while he remains the one holding the shovel. What's so striking is how this low-key approach makes him even more powerful. While others fight for attention, he's building influence in the shadows. His enigmatic nature forces people to project their assumptions onto him. Is he brilliant, dangerous, charismatic? No one can quite figure him out, and that uncertainty alone gives him an edge. People fear what they don't understand, and they respect what they can't pin down. This isn't about passivity, it's about precision. The Sigma male uses his low-key presence like a scalpel, cutting through the noise to see the truth beneath the surface. He doesn't need to dominate a room to control it. His power lies in his ability to stay composed, unnoticed, and always one step ahead, leaving others to wonder how he holds so much influence without saying a word. Number 7. They create false trails. Sigma males are the masters of misdirection, and they use this skill with the precision of a chess grandmaster. They don't just sit back and blend into the background, they actively create false trails to keep people looking in all the wrong places. It's not about deception for the sake of it, it's about preserving their privacy and autonomy in a world where everyone is overly eager to dissect each other's lives. When they do share details, it's intentional. These breadcrumbs are strategically mundane, painting a picture of someone unassuming and easy to overlook. Maybe they mention a routine weekend plan or a basic hobby, giving just enough information to satisfy curiosity without ever revealing anything meaningful. To the outside world, they seem simple, maybe even predictable, but that's the point. The less remarkable they appear, the more their real motives and ambitions remain concealed. What makes this so effective is how effortlessly they balance transparency with mystery. By offering small, seemingly honest glimpses into their lives, they disarm suspicion. People assume they've gotten the full picture, never realizing they've only seen the tip of the iceberg. Meanwhile, the Sigma keeps their real plans, whether personal, professional, or strategic, completely off the radar. This tactic serves a dual purpose. It keeps prying eyes at bay while allowing the Sigma to operate freely in the background. No one questions them, no one investigates further, and no one realizes how deliberate every move has been. By the time anyone figures out the game, the Sigma has already made their next move, leaving everyone chasing shadows while the real story remains entirely theirs to control. Number 8, they're intentionally forgettable in the moment. Sigma males have mastered the subtle art of being engaging, yet forgettable, a skill that's both rare and intentional. When they're in a conversation, they know exactly how to strike the right balance, attentive, polite, and even charming if necessary. But the magic lies in what happens afterward. The moment they step away, they leave no lingering hooks for anyone to hold on to, no provocative comments, no exaggerated opinions, nothing that makes people replay the interaction in their minds. It's as if they were never really there. And that's exactly how they like it. This isn't about lacking charisma. In fact, it's the opposite. They know how to connect just enough to make the interaction smooth and effortless, but not enough to make anyone overly curious. They avoid being polarizing, steering clear of anything that could make them too memorable or too controversial. The result? They slip through the cracks of people's attention, keeping themselves protected from unnecessary scrutiny or gossip. This deliberate forgettability is a defense mechanism and a power move rolled into one. By not leaving a strong impression, they guard their privacy and maintain control over how much of themselves they reveal. If someone tries to piece together who they are or what they're about, they'll find little to nothing to work with. Sigma males are like whispers in the wind, present for a moment, gone the next, leaving no trace behind. It's this strategic vanishing act that makes them so effective at navigating social landscapes. While others are busy making waves and leaving footprints, the Sigma moves silently, unnoticed, and entirely free. Their ability to slip through the cracks isn't a weakness, it's their ultimate strength, allowing them to protect their autonomy in a world that's always watching. Number 9. They use subtle misdirection as a shield. Sigma males have an uncanny knack for deflecting personal questions with ease, and they do it in a way that leaves the other person feeling like they've shared something meaningful, when in reality, they've learned next to nothing about the Sigma. It's not that they're being overtly secretive or rude, it's a skillful use of subtle misdirection. When someone asks a personal question, they don't shut it down or ignore it. They redirect the conversation with such finesse that the spotlight shifts away from them without the other person even realizing it. They'll ask a question of their own, subtly probing into the other person's life, or they'll give just enough of an answer to keep the conversation flowing without offering up any real details about themselves. It's a dance, a game of mental chess, where the Sigma remains several moves ahead. By shifting the focus to the other person's experiences or opinions, they manage to stay engaged without giving up any of their own personal information. In the process, the other person feels seen, valued, and listened to. But the Sigma walks away with a victory, having revealed little to nothing about themselves. This ability is not about being evasive, it's about control. Sigma males understand that in a world full of people who are quick to overshare, revealing too much can give others power over them. So they use misdirection to protect their privacy and maintain autonomy while keeping the conversation light, balanced, and focused on the other person. It's a shield they wear so naturally that most don't even realize they've been subtly steered away from any deeper questions. And by the time the conversation ends, the Sigma has avoided revealing anything significant while still making the other person feel important. It's a move that makes them nearly untouchable, under the radar, untraceable, and always in control. Number 10, they play the unassuming role to perfection. Sigma males are experts at playing the unassuming role so seamlessly that most people don't even realize they're being played. They know that no one suspects the quiet, laid-back person of having any hidden depths, and they use this to their advantage. Whether it's the co-worker who never causes a stir or the neighbor who smiles and waves but never gets too involved, Sigma males adopt these roles with precision. On the surface, they seem harmless, almost forgettable, but that's exactly what they want. This outward calm and neutrality is a strategic choice. By not drawing attention to themselves, they create the perfect environment for observation. While everyone around them is caught up in their own drama or distractions, the Sigma sits back, taking in every detail without ever giving away their hand. They know how to blend into the background and avoid triggering any suspicion, all while quietly building a mental map of the dynamics at play. What's so powerful about this role is how it shields them from being seen as a threat. When people think you're just the quiet, non-confrontational type, they let their guard down. They'll overshare, underestimate, or assume you're not a player in whatever situation is unfolding. But behind that calm, laid-back exterior, the Sigma is observing with razor-sharp focus. They're reading body language, listening between the lines, and gathering information that others overlook because they're too busy thinking the Sigma is just there. This unassuming role doesn't just protect them, it gives them the upper hand. By playing the part of the least interesting person in the room, Sigma males gain the freedom to observe without being noticed, plan without interference, and strike when no one expects it. In a world full of loud voices and obvious moves, the Sigma's quiet strategy is the most dangerous weapon of all. In a world constantly buzzing with noise, attention-seeking antics, and oversharing, Sigma males have perfected the art of operating under the radar, moving with an unmatched, quiet intensity that keeps them hidden in plain sight. They don't need the limelight, the validation, or the approval of others because their power lies in their subtlety, their ability to remain enigmatic while quietly observing, strategizing, and outsmarting those around them. Whether it's through misdirection, blending into the background, or playing an unassuming role, the Sigma male understands one crucial truth: the less you reveal, the more control you have. Every move they make is deliberate, calculated, and designed to keep their autonomy intact while the world around them unwittingly plays into their hands. They are the silent strategists, the calm before the storm, always several steps ahead of the game and always in control, without anyone ever knowing it. By refusing to conform to the expectations and pressures that others blindly follow, they've carved out a path where they remain the masters of their own narrative, untouchable and untraceable. The true power of the Sigma male doesn't lie in being noticed. It lies in being underestimated, in blending in so seamlessly that no one even realizes they're being outmaneuvered. They are the ultimate chess players of the social world, making moves from the shadows while everyone else thinks they're just playing checkers. It's a mastery of subtlety, a genius of privacy, and a quiet strength that can never be broken because it was never built on external validation to begin with. The Sigma male is the embodiment of stealth, strategy, and self-sufficiency, a force that doesn't need to be loud to be undeniably powerful. If you found these insights about Sigma males fascinating, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more eye-opening content like this. Like, comment, and share this with anyone who needs a deeper understanding of the hidden strategies that drive extraordinary individuals.